Once upon a time, in a peaceful forest filled with chirping birds and rustling leaves, there lived a very fast and very proud hare. He was always boasting to the other animals about how fast he could run. "I'm the fastest creature in this forest," he bragged. "No one can ever beat me in a race." The other animals were tired of hearing the hare go on and on. One day, they decided to do something about it. They all met together and made a plan. The next time the hare bragged about his speed, they would challenge him to a race. The following afternoon, the hare was lounging in the shade, enjoying a juicy carrot when the fox approached him. "Hare, I want to challenge you to a race," he said. The hare raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Oh really? You think you can beat me?" he asked, chuckling. "Well, I don't want to brag, but I'm pretty quick on my feet," replied the fox confidently. The hare burst out laughing, shaking his head. "You beat me? Don't make me laugh. You're lucky if you can even keep up with me." Despite the hare's mockery, the fox insisted on the race, but the hare refused to accept unless the entire forest gathered to witness his victory. The fox agreed, and soon the entire forest assembled, buzzing with anticipation. As the sun rose the next morning, the animals lined up at the starting line. The hare, oozing confidence, took his position, glancing back at the fox with a sneer. The starting whistle blew, and the hare shot off like a bolt of lightning. He glanced back and noticed the fox was nowhere to be seen. Arrogantly, he thought, "I knew this would happen. No one can match my speed." As he raced along, he spotted the finish line in the distance and decided to take a break before crossing it. With a confident hop, he sat down under a nearby tree and began grooming himself, thinking, "I have plenty of time to spare. Let them all catch up. I can still easily win." But unbeknownst to the hare, the fox had taken the lead and was approaching the finish line. Meanwhile, the hare continued relaxing, occasionally glancing at the finish line. He saw the fox nearing the end of the race and decided to continue his nap. As the fox crossed the finish line to the cheers of the crowd, the hare finally awoke. Groaning, he stretched and casually ambled towards the finish line. To his disbelief, the fox was nowhere to be found. Panting slightly, the hare asked an onlooker, "Who won the race?" "The fox, of course," came the reply. The hare, stunned and embarrassed, slumped down, realizing the consequences of his arrogance. From that day forward, the hare became more humble, understanding that true strength lies not only in physical prowess, but also in perseverance and focus. Meanwhile, the fox, fueled by his victory, became an even more cunning strategist. Forever reminding the hare of their race and his own shortcomings, the once proud hare grew ashamed of his boastful past, shying away from races and trying to live up to the fox's sly jabs. However, deep down, the hare harbored a desire to reclaim his reputation and prove his worth. One sunny afternoon, as the hare was practicing his sprints in an open field, a grey wolf approached him. "I hear you used to be the fastest in the forest," he remarked, his voice dripping with sarcasm. The hare, bristling with anger, retorted, "That's right, and I can still prove it. How about a race?" The wolf, taken aback by the hare's audacity, laughed loudly. "A race, you say? Very well, I accept." The forest animals watched with bated breath as the hare and the wolf prepared for the race. The tortoise, known for his wisdom, stood at the starting line and called out, "Ready, set, go." With that, both the hare and the wolf dashed forward, their paws pounding the ground. For a moment, they were neck and neck. However, the wolf, driven by his desire to claim the title of the forest's fastest, surged ahead, leaving the hare far behind. The hare, determined not to lose again, dug deep within himself, summoning every ounce of energy he had left. He strained to keep up with the wolf, his heart pounding in his chest. The wolf, sensing the hare's determination, pushed harder, widening the gap between them. He neared the finish line, certain of his victory. But suddenly, his pace slowed. Glancing back, he saw the hare gaining on him, his eyes gleaming with renewed determination. The wolf, surprised by the hare's sudden burst of speed, picked up the pace again, desperate to maintain his lead, yet the hare relentlessly closed the distance between them, refusing to give up. As they raced side by side, the animals watching couldn't help but cheer. The suspense was palpable. Who would win this ultimate showdown? In a final burst of energy, the hare surged ahead, crossing the finish line just a nose length ahead of the wolf. The crowd erupted in applause, their cheers echoing through the forest. The hare, exhausted but exhilarated, looked at the wolf, who stood panting, his eyes filled with disbelief. The wolf, unable to contain his astonishment, asked, "How did you do it, hare?" "I thought I had you beat," the hare, catching his breath, replied. "I may not be the fastest anymore, but I learned from my mistakes and never gave up. I guess slow and steady wins the race." The wolf, humbled by the hare's resilience, nodded slowly. "Well said, hare. Perhaps I got overconfident and didn't push hard enough. Next time, I'll make sure to leave nothing in reserve." The hare and the wolf, now friends, stood together as the other animals congratulated the hare on his remarkable comeback. The tortoise, watching them with a knowing smile, thought to himself, "It's not about how you start, but how you finish." And so, the legend of the hare and the wolf spread throughout the forest, reminding all the animals that, with determination and perseverance, one can overcome any obstacle. From that day on, the hare and the wolf trained together, pushing each other to become faster and stronger. They organized races with the other animals, fostering a sense of camaraderie and sportsmanship. The forest echoed with their laughter and the thrill of friendly competition. The hare, once arrogant and boastful, had found a new purpose in life, guiding and encouraging the younger animals, sharing his wisdom and experience. He became a role model, proving that even those who stumble can rise again. The wolf, once aggressive and driven by self-interest, discovered the value of friendship and teamwork. He learned to control his instincts, channeling his inner strength into positive pursuits. Together, they led the forest community towards unity and progress, ensuring that the spirit of healthy competition and perseverance would endure for generations to come. As the sun set over the forest, casting long shadows on the ground, the animals gathered around the hare and the wolf, eager to hear their stories. Under the soft glow of the moonlight, the hare began his tale, recounting his past arrogance and the valuable lessons he had learned along the way. The wolf, in turn, shared his journey of self-discovery, emphasizing the importance of balance and restraint. As the stories unfolded, the young animals listened with rapt attention, their eyes wide with wonder and understanding. At the end of their tales, a profound silence fell over the gathering. The hare and the wolf exchanged glances, knowing that their words had resonated with the younger generation. The tortoise, his voice filled with wisdom, broke the silence. "You have both done well," he said, "sharing your experiences to guide these young ones. It is through your stories that they will learn and grow." The hare nodded, his eyes shining with gratitude. "It is my duty to guide them," he replied, "to ensure that my mistakes do not go in vain." The wolf, his gaze fixed on the young animals, spoke in a low voice. "Remember, speed is not always the answer," he said, "and strength must be balanced with wisdom and compassion." The young animals, inspired by the words of the hare and the wolf, felt a surge of determination within them. They realized that true strength lay not only in physical prowess, but also in the ability to learn from mistakes, control one's instincts and persevere through challenges. As the night deepened and the stars twinkled above them, the animals dispersed, each carrying the valuable lessons of the hare and the wolf in their hearts. From that day forward, the young animals of the forest approached challenges with new-found wisdom. They understood that true strength lay not in arrogance or recklessness, but in humility, balance, and an unwavering determination to succeed. The stories of the hare and the wolf became a part of their folklore, reminding them that with courage, perseverance, and a willingness to learn, they could overcome any obstacle that came their way.